just read what he wrote. Here to steal 5 minutes of one of your march toward dying alone away. What? Listen, let me tell you something. This guy hasn't been to Freak Train for 3 years, but he was a regular freak for many years before that. So please welcome in his return to the Freak Train stage, Mr. Derek Knight.
She'd never just simply read what I wrote. And she's right. It's been a long goddamn time since I've been here. Like, the last time I was here, the neighborhood was not gentrified. This is freaking me out. The danger is replaced by tight pants, mustaches, and adorable gay couples. I like it. I want to move here, but I want to be stabbed when I go get a taco. I was really hoping for like some nostalgia, and I was like, whoa, those are fucking great looking apartments. And then I come here, we're having a great show. Jerry's like raining cholesterol and diabetes on the one guy. That's like death eventually from above. Well played. So show of hands, who's seen a human placenta up close? Right? They're weird! They're like a rare porterhouse mated with like Cthulhu's conjoined twin. They're so fucking weird. I thought about it, and that's the thing, like, I can see why in some cultures they like line up to get a hunk of it after it flops out of that fucking hole. It's like, I'm like, that is like, I'm off-put, but I'm hungry now. I know it's got all of the nutrients that kept my little parasite spawn alive for almost 9 months. And because I was holding my ex-wife's leg up the whole time, and I'll tell you what, if you've ever seen live birth, when the delivering doctor says, I'm going to do the episiotomy now, you don't even have time to process those syllables before whap! And then that hole just is twice the size, and you're like, oh, that's never going to be any fun again. I don't care, there's not enough stitches in witch hazel in the world. And that's one of the reasons I'm divorced. But so I was actually standing there poking the placenta after my kid was born. And my mom's standing next to me, and she's looking at it, she's looking at me, and she said, you know, when your sister was born, my sister's 3 years older than I am. She said, when your sister was born, 3 days later, mine fell out on the kitchen floor. I thought I'd lost my liver. I didn't know that we were pioneer people. Apparently, they just hand you the baby, slap you on the ass, send you home, and mail you a bill, apparently. I didn't know that when my sister was born, it was the prairie where I'm from. But speaking of my mom and my sister, when we were growing up, they were terrified of spiders. I'm still not really on speaking terms with them, because they're shitty, horrible little creatures that are pretty much just the devil's ejaculate. But when I was growing up, because they were so terrified of them, I was the de facto disposal mechanism. So anytime you'd hear, spider in the house! I'd just grab a handful of tissues and go to work, and you just pick it up and crush it, or throw it in the toilet, or set it on fire like you do. And so anything my sister was afraid of, I have to dispose of, like bugs or clowns or snakes. And if you, she just punched them in the face. She was really good at that. But you have no idea how many tissues it takes to get a clown out of your house. Because it takes every tissue in the house. At least that's what I told my parents I did with all the tissues. That reminds me, I'll be selling CDs in the lobby after the show. I've never recorded an album, I just have a lot of CDs and I need money. I brought a spindle of blanks, I don't know if anybody can use them, but I don't even know what anybody does with that shit anymore. I was laid off a few times, 4 years, 3 jobs laid me off. I have a job now, so I'm finally an adult again. But during that during that period of time, I got used to shopping at the dollar store. And it's like rolling the dice, because they have everything you'll ever need, but it's not a brand you've ever heard of. So you're just gambling every time. And my grandmother wanted a clapper, because she was tired of getting up out of her wheelchair to turn the lights on and off, whatever, lazy bitch. So I found one, and it wasn't the clapper, it was just the clap. And I'm like, that's great, it's $1.04 with the tax, so I took it home. And before I wrapped it up, I was like, I better check this out, make sure she's getting something she can use. And joke was on me, nothing but a box full of VD. So I couldn't give her that. I have a standing rule, I don't give people things they already have.
Give it up for Derek Knight! Derek will be performing at the Voodoo on Wednesday with Action Bear Improv. Give it up for Derek.